Alright, this is a plausibility test on the uptake of nail polish through a syringe, through a needle into a syringe. I have my needles here. I have this one is an 18 gauge. I'll measure the outside diameter of it. It's reasonable wall thickness. I'm not going to try to measure the ID. It comes out at 1.28 millimeters OD, which is a few hundredths too large. We'll try this one as a 20 gauge, it should be. Measures about the right OD for a 20 gauge. And this one measures a bit small for a 21. I'll call it a 21. It's kind of between a 21 and a 22. So a small 21, measuring by the OD. And these are applicator needles, so they're a bit short, but they should work fine for our purposes. That'll be good. I have the nail polish here. It's basically a random polish I grabbed at the checkout when I saw it, and I remembered I wanted to do this video. It was sitting right there, so I grabbed it, and here we have the video. The syringe, kind of a normal syringe, about 12 cc's total volume, nice stiff plunger. So we're gonna dive right in and see what happens. This is pulling through the 18 gauge. A little bit of pressure there, yeah, got a little vacuum, but you see I sucked up plenty of polish. That's more than was in the video I'm comparing this to, so that's perfectly fine with the 18 gauge. I'll do it again without my hand covering it quite so much. Yeah, a little bit of vacuum. Headspace left, but sucks up the polish just fine. So we'll move on to a smaller needle, something that maybe gives us a challenge. Take this one off. Joys of gloves. Stab my finger if it was a real needle, but it's a little applicator needle. And we'll try the 20 gauge roughly. You can see I can pull more volume, pull more vacuum, expand the air into a greater volume and get a stronger vacuum. But it sucks the polish up just fine. Try it again, see. You see polish kind of bubbling up into there, hopefully. And it's just filling the void left by the vacuum. I'm only pulling the syringe back, the plunger back, to maybe create a cc of volume in there. And so it's not really a strong vacuum. It's whatever space, whatever air was in that space, expanded out to a single cc about. And you see it comes out. You can drop it out, or pressing like this, you can't see it because I don't want to make a mess, but it does come out and still a stream, even with that 20 gauge. So now I'll move on to the 21 gauge, a little bit smaller than 21 gauge, but we'll call it 21. Put it on the syringe. There we go. Into the polish. And a lot slower work there. You can feel just when you pull back, it is a lot closer to pulling back on a closed syringe. You can feel that you're not getting much in there. If you expand and create a heavier vacuum, stronger vacuum, you can see it pulls up the polish just fine. It's a bit slow, obviously. You do have to have a little bit of pressure to pull that vacuum, but you can see I can hold it there without it being too strenuous or anything. And you can squeeze it out. This takes a little bit more pressure, and it comes out more slowly here. This isn't really coming out in a stream. It's kind of a bit broken because the needle's so small. But it does still work just fine with that 21 gauge with this polish. Again, you can find other polishes, I'm sure, that are thicker and won't work. You could find some, I'm sure, that are thinner, just because it's unlikely that the one I picked at random would be on the far end of the spectrum either way. So there you have it.